San Diego City budget for the 2013-2014 fiscal year passed with a 7-2 vote. Council members Kevin Faulkner and Scott Sherman opposed it. Joining me with details on where the $2.75 billion will be spent is San Diego City Council President Todd Gloria. Todd, welcome back.
Thank you.
So this budget is for the general fund for the coming fiscal year starting in July. Highlight some of the services that will either stay or expand.
Well, the council improved on the mayor's proposal by doing sort of three key things. One is that we expanded library hours at every branch library in every neighborhood in the city, so an additional 4 hours at every one of those locations. We came up with a police retention program. I think most of your viewers know that we were having difficulty retaining our experienced officers. They're leaving for other jurisdiction. We made a down payment on trying to keep those folks here, and so that we save the costs that we experienced due to training. And then lastly, in response to, I think, a great public outcry about the condition of our sidewalks, we made $1 million investment on trying to work toward repairing all of them. All of those things, in addition to more money for homeless services and other issues that I think are key to the mayor and council.
Particularly the homeless service, that is a year-round homeless shelter. This is the first time.
Right. This is taking the approach that we've had previously, where the winter tent would just be up in the wintertime, and the mayor's proposal is to do it year-round. We don't believe he has enough money to actually do it year-round, but it'll be up a significantly longer amount of time. That's going to really allow people who are homeless more pathways out of homelessness to break that cycle and hopefully benefit the taxpayers because they're no longer relying on emergency services for care.
Linking them into other services that have already
right.
Going on. Okay. Back in May, the mayor's revised budget proposal sought to cut $500 to $900 million from City Attorney Jan Goldsmith's budget. That did not happen in this budget that the council approved. Tell us about that.
That's right. It's actually $500,000. The mayor slated that reduction, and the council voted yesterday on a 5-4 vote not to do that. And I think that that's really key. We understand that that cut would result in probably the laying off of roughly 13 city prosecutors, the people who prosecute misdemeanor crimes, things like prostitution, gang houses, crack houses, that kind of stuff. We can't have more of those in our community, and I hope that the mayor would follow along in terms of the council's wishes to restore those funding.
And would that preserve that neighborhood prosecution unit? Like you say, some of these minor offenses that they actually get community service and sort of keeps the courts free? It's
our understanding that the reduction is up to the city attorney to apply, but the $500,000, much of his work is not discretionary. It's prescribed by the charter. This is one area that is discretionary, and he's indicated that's where the cuts would come. But yeah, these are the folks that from the city's legal team that work on neighborhood nuisances. They've helped me when I was a neighborhood activist in City Heights to work on drug houses and prostitution issues. These are the kinds of things that we would see more of if this cut is not implemented, and that's why the council voted not to implement it.
City Council member Kevin Faulkner was one of the two who opposed the budget. He said that this budget does not reflect the priorities of San Diegans: paving street, restoring neighborhood services, and eliminating waste, so I cannot support it. What areas of waste is he referring to?
Well, I think Kevin is responding to the sort of lack of clarity when it comes to managed competition. Obviously, the voters a number of years ago asked the city to bid out its functions to try and reduce costs. We've done that successfully with 5 functions. The mayor has been somewhat ambivalent on that issue. He has indicated to the council that he will continue to do it. We haven't really seen signs that he will. I think that's what Kevin's point is.
The mayor quickly approved this budget, although he still has line veto power or veto power. It goes into effect July 1st. He says, no tricks, no gimmicks, no hidden costs. This is a solid foundation that will keep the city's financial recovery, on track. How does the new 5-year labor union deal with the city impact these city's finances and help keep this on track?
It's enormously positive, and the reason why every citizen should be grateful that that deal was done. What it does is it creates certainty on our labor costs for the next 5 years, and actually instantly should reduce our pension bill by roughly $20 million, going to the fiscal restraint.
$20 million a year.
For the next foreseeable year, yeah. And what that does is we're actually going to that fiscal restraint the mayor is referring to. We're taking roughly half of those proceeds and putting them towards neighborhood services, and the other half we're putting in reserves. I think that's a really fiscally disciplined way to approach this, and proof that we're not going back to the old ways.
And which programs will shrink?
They're only, in terms of this budget, the only thing that's slated for reduction is the city attorney's office, and that's why that particular cut is kind of stands out and why it shouldn't be allowed to stand.
All right. Well, there's a whole lot more on our website about this. Is San Diego City Council President Todd Gloria. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Peggy.